The measurement of quantity is extremely important when you consider quantity surveying, because it is important to know in which unit every item needs to be measured in accordance with the Delhi schedule of rates, because they give you rates for a particular unit. So whatever you measure should also be measured in that particular unit. So for the time being, we shall see what are the items that are required for which you have to take the measurements. This list gives you a list of all the items which are usually considered in a normal quantity surveying procedure when you are considering a residential building. There will be certain items which you have to add depending on specific plans, or if the type of building changes. As in residential building changes to a commercial building, there might be certain other factors which you will have to consider. This is a list of items which you usually consider when you are estimating the quantities required for a residential building. The first item that you have to consider is excavation. As you can see in this figure, the excavation will have a particular width, a particular height, and also a particular length. So when we take the quantity of excavation that is required, we take length into breadth into its height, and hence the unit of measurement is taken in meter cube, and usually you round it off up to 2 decimals. Now this is the sectional elevation of a particular foundation. So in this case, when you are considering the bottommost level, as you can see, this is the ground level. The depth of excavation is taken as the height of, or the distance between, the ground level and the bottommost layer, and the width is taken as the width of the bottommost layer, and the length will depend on what is the length of this wall. Similarly, when you are taking the quantity of material for the PCC layer, the the breadth is going to stay the same, the length will also stay the same, but the height is going to change to this value when you are consider the quantity that is there in the PCC. Similarly, as you go up, you have different heights which will be considered for the corresponding layers, and accordingly these widths will also be considered. The next item that we have is a random rubble masonry. Now random rubble is the foundation that you provide when you are doing it with stones, or the stones are what we call as rubble. In this case, again, this is our width and this is our height, and depending on what is the length, you have this value as the length. So this is the width, this is the height, and this is the length. Again, the unit of measurement is meter cube. Next we have something called as the plinth beam. Now the plinth beam is the first layer that comes above the ground surface, and usually plinth beam will have an offset of, let's say, 1 centimeter from the face of the wall, but again this is also taken in meter cube, where this will be the width B and this will be the height, and then you have the length of the wall. The unit of measurement here is again meter cube, and usually this is RCC, the material that you use. Now coming to a damp proofing course, course, as we all know, is usually is the course that you provide to prevent capillary rise. So for preventing capillary rise, you provide a DPC course. It can be provided in different ways. It can be a compound that's mixed in PCC, or it can be a particular material that is available in sheets like this, and you can provide it in between the 2 consecutive layers, that is on top of the plinth but below the wall. Now DPC is measured in meter square. Okay, the breadth that you take is the thickness of the superstructure. when you take the DPC course, you have to provide deductions wherever there are openings, because below the openings there is no capillary rise, so deductions are taken where there is an opening or where there is no superstructure wall above the plinth level. Now next is the plinth filling. What you mean by plinth filling is, once you have constructed this plinth wall, once this wall is constructed, there is a space which is there in between this wall. This space is usually filled with sand so that you can provide a PCC layer over it and keep the flooring on top. This is taken as the volume of sand that you have to provide. So it will be taken as the area between the plinth into the height of filling. So this is the plinth filling. Now when you talk about masonry in walls is taken in meter cube, where we take the length of the wall into the breadth, which is usually 20 centimeters. This is a usual value, into height of the wall, which is usually 3 meters. When you talk about RCC and RB, which is reinforced cement concrete and reinforced brick, which are the two pictures given here. When you take for RCC, you take what is the volume of RCC. You do not do any deductions for the steel. It is volume of RCC including steel. Same as the case for a reinforced brick. When you take steel is either taken from the reinforcement detailing that we have, and in case the reinforcement details or the bar bending schedule etc. are not available with you, what you do is for steel you take it as 0.8 to 1% of RCC, and this value is measured in a quantity called quintals. That's the unit. Now when it comes to flooring and roofing, in most of the cases the flooring and roofing will have the same area, which is the internal area of the room. In the case of a roof, the additional value comes where you have the wall thickness. This is also added when you take a roofing material. Now for plastering, area of the wall is considered, and along with this the thickness is specified, and the area of painting is equal to the area of plastering. Now for pillars and columns, again you take what is the volume of RCC, you take the length into breadth into height of the column. Doors and windows are taken in numbers, as in you have, let's say, a door of D1 size, you have 6 of them, or D2 size, you have 8 of them. So you take doors and windows in numbers. When you come to woodwork, you have to take the detailing of the joinery that you are going to use, and you have to find out what is the volume of wood that is involved. Now for iron work and grill work, again this is measured in quintals as to what is the volume of grills that you need for like for window grills, door grills, or where you have grills as a closing surface in the backward kitchens or even the gates. So this is involved in iron work and grid work, and it is measured in quintals. Then you have the sanitary and plumbing fittings. For sanitary and plumbing fittings, what we take is, for sanitary, it is 8% of the total estimated cost of the building. And for electrification, it is again 8% of estimated cost. So this is how you do method.